Buongiorno, good morning everybody, and once again welcome to Vicenza Oro, September edition, and to the launch of the Jewelry Trend Book 2025. We are at the 22nd edition of the book, and it's 22 years that we've been publishing a research that wish to bring inspiration through innovation and vision. I'm always nervous when I'm on the stage, so that's why I like to share it, so I empathize immediately with you, because there is so much work behind, not necessarily being on stage, because that's not the important part, but to represent the passion, the dedication, and the vision of many people. So today, I am here to present what I call talent on stage, and talent is all around. But we also start by really sharing what I call this very interesting topic that today we are, facing, which is AI, which as Trendvision Jewellery Forecasting, which I wish to remember, is an independent observatory of Fiera di Vicenza, being YEG, Italian Exhibition Group. We are constantly, all year round, studying emerging mega trends, which are really what it's impacting our lifestyle, not only our jewelry sector, but at the largest scale, how socio-cultural changes, geopolitical scenarios, environmental climate, gender equality, sustainability is making an impact on our lifestyle and therefore, of course, the jewelry industry. So, through our research, we always encounter incredible talent, which of course are all around. And the question that we wanted to really, try to explore during this time is AI. Can human creativity survive AI? And we feel that at the end of this, event, like an hour and a half time together, we will feel much stronger, because it's all about understanding the concept of collective intelligence. When I am, of course, being a futurist, I am extremely fascinated by the future and by the innovation. And every time I enter the realm of a topic, could be sustainability and circular design, could be AI, I somehow get, deep into the topic. And so I take courses, masters, and so on, not to become an expert, but to be more knowledgeable about. Because if I have to help people to be inspired, to innovate, how can I not do it myself? And so today, we want to kind of touch upon a little bit AI in a positive way, not necessarily in a negative way, in the way that could create even more what is called the collective intelligence, the intelligence that is going to help make everybody better individual, but also even more better organization, better countries, better companies. So today we're going to have these amazing people which we are going to, meet, and they're going to tell their stories, and we see how it's impacting, the world of creativity. But I'd like a special thank to my team, to our team, which is Trendvision Jewellery Forecasting, the forecasters, the editors, the experts. They are working, these people more on a regular basis, but we also have other people. That's why we call it collective intelligence. And we always embrace new collaboration. We always embrace, research, around the globe. So you can, please send your interest in collaborating with Trendvision. So I will be here, just touching. We are entering the era of digital renaissance, but I would say renaissance in general. I mean, it's like world tour called the Renaissance. So there are buzzwords that when they start, it's kind of they become fashionable, But what really means Renaissance? What it is that it meant? So we have to always go to look at the future. We need to know about our past. And so it's all about past, present, and future. So Renaissance, we are facing a new era of humanity, of arts, literature, cinematography. Technology should and will enhance and magnify our vision, our creativity, cognitive thinking. And that is something that we shouldn't be scared of. So, during this, I really wanted to go here very fast because I want to show you the beauty that you can really see through, on social media. I mean, we are scouting. We have to say that as researcher, we are very lucky these days because in the past, research was more complicated, especially when we are talking about semiotic data, which are images, versus only numbers and data. So as a researcher, we collect statistical data and quantitative and qualitative data, so numbers, but also, imagery and study. And through AI now, it's easier with us with analytics to understand generation, to understand psychographic, to understand demographic. But also when you go online, you can start yourself scouting online, being online, not in a passive way, but we call it an active way. An hashtag can show you communities of people, values of people, what they believe, what they like, what they aspire to be. So as you can see here, we are showing kind of a little bit perspective of digital renaissance, generative art, retropia. Everything we'll be talking today, but especially in the second part of the presentation, we are going to connect the world of consumer, of society, of geographies, physical and metaphysical geographies, how they are connected to our industries. When we walk around the aisle of any shows, we see earrings, we see necklaces, we see diamonds, we see pearls. I see people, I see cultures, I see networking, I see trading, I see emotion, I see religion, I see gender, age, I see other things. What do these people want? Do we buy just based on product, or do we buy thinking that someone is going to buy our product? And this has been my vision, honestly, my life, always. Do we sell goods? Do we sell weight, meaning gold weight? Do we sell carat? Or do we really sell an emotion? Are we projecting something here, or is just on the scale how much it is? Is it really the issue here only lab-grown or natural diamonds, which it is an issue, or is also something else? It's also about the new ethnographic in Europe. That's it. Is it bridging? Is it society changing? So this is really what brings value to our industry. When we talk about storytelling, if there is no real story, it doesn't last. So this is the world of cultural movement that we see online. And I want to tell you one thing. Every image you see here, you know what it is? It's AI. It's created by Midjourney and by artists. These people don't exist. Now, you say, well, it's scary. No, it's not scary. It's art. It's images that they are being created by digital art, by AI artists, intelligence artists. They are creating the utopian world of the present future, the world that maybe we would like to have and we don't have. And so now we see, and this is the way I'd like to show you, to give you my lenses, and see, look at these people, how interesting are they? You know, it's like the new fashion visual, virtual street styles. So if you start looking at social media and you start looking at artists and see what it's the aspirational scenario, then you're going to think differently. For instance, new age fluidity. Everybody's talking about Gen Z. What about Gen Xers? What about the new, art of aging? What about silver hair? There is like a very important model in the, you know, Manon Crespi. She's a model that she's been wearing beautifully her, like, you know, white hair with pride. And she's one of the first women that made it positive. Online, there are a trainer, like personal trainer in their 30s, male, that they teach women in menopause. They are actually promoting online menopause, you know, and I was like, how can it happen like that? And so all of a sudden, the world is changing, and guess what? You're saying, why are you saying that, Paola? Because it's creating business opportunities. Business opportunities, that's what it is. So, cultural movement, new heritage. Which heritage? Is it African? Is it European? Is it Chinese? Is it global? How can we be global and local? How can we keep our roots and interact with each other? By being proud of who we are. So, this is the world. We haven't created these images, we just collected it. And if you're going to digit the hashtag online, you're going to find here, you're going to find the movement, not only of AI artists, you're going to find fashion, you're going to find jewelry associated, emerging designers. And guess what? The big corporation, the global corporation, the Tiffany's and the Bulgari and the Nike and the Moncler and so on, they're already working with these people. They're already working with these art, and they are promoting an imaginary world. The word that yesterday, and you're going to meet her later, Sienna O'Rourke, used a lot, magic. Magic. That's what I want to hear in the aisle, not just say how much it is, how is it, magic. If you sell magic, I don't ask the price, send it to me, I'll buy it, I want it tomorrow. Those are design of reinvented icons by AI artists that they're pitching, you know, important brands. If you go online, you're going to find these people. Generally, those are like jewelry designer. I mean, it's amazing. And I think that there are new ways. So today, we want to really show you the opportunity of new way of maybe doing a marketing campaign. A digital marketing campaign, or maybe just even like, you know, offline, to imagine your like new showroom, to imagine a new exhibition platform. I mean, we can, and it is so realistic, it's scary. Now, of course, it is some AI ethics that we will have to face, and now the government and everybody are like, you know, everything has to be kind of managed, but we are doing it even now. Some people say, well, you know, you go on Midjourney, you just digit, I want a necklace with diamonds, and it's going to come up. It doesn't work like that. And also when you say, well, but, you know, you can say inspired by Elsa Peretti, or inspired by, I don't know, Bulgari, or Pomellato, or David Yurman. It doesn't matter, the designer, and it comes that way. Listen, people, don't be scared. How many of you walked around the aisle and got inspired by someone? Okay? Now you have a problem with AI inspiring. It's crazy. I mean, it's like, so let's be ethical in an ethical way, not in a fake way. You know, AI will help. AI and technology in general will help us, if we know how to use it, to enhance our collective intelligence. And so And those are like, this is interesting because I see, you know, my friends from the sustainability realm, of course, in the audience, and I'm very happy to see Iris van der Wecken. Thank you for joining and also for your contribution, but we'll tell you later, so for the same for the Melanie Grant. But let's talk about sustainability and how also AI is featuring already the zero impact, virtual rendering, jewelry, imaginary garden. So all of that, every topic, every macro trend that we are talking, it's already happening, it's there. So we don't predict, we just collect information, we package it, and we show you that that is already happening. And what it's happening, it's an opportunity, it's a business way of promoting, selling to a consumer that wants to be heard and wants to be seen. But now we are getting to the good part of the show because I'm the boring part. But I'd like now to, you know, I usually go by heart, but you know, I wanted to write a few words because this is very special to me. I want to invite on the stage an Arab woman, a light, an inspiration for gender equality, an entrepreneur, and most important, an artist, Nadine Kanso.
I created Bilarabi years ago. It came out of need, it came out of a statement of expression. Bilarabi means the world to me. It has been the place where I found myself, the place where I started being creative. Do I ever take risks? Calculated risks. My approach is not about only being a design piece of jewelry. It is about bringing something new to the market, something new for all of us to relate to, what it is to have a strong identity. It's about what I see and I would like to express. It's a lot of contrast as well between black and white, between my life in Lebanon, my life in Dubai, the young me and who I became today. It's a mission that I think I've accomplished. I'm happy I've paved the way for so many designers. Bilarabi has been the message to the world. We need to be all aligned, all in peace, and love each other. I am Nadine Kanso, an artist, designer, and a visionary. Hi, Paola. Thank you for having me.
I am so honored and I'm so happy to show you off because you're very special. And you know, I always wanted you here because you mean many, many things. And this is part of being collective intelligence.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Guys, you're next on here. I'm not very good at this. We'll go around and obviously Paola will be here to help. She started by actually presenting me and obviously the video. And when we put this beautiful presentation together, she decided that I'm a fashionista. I'm going to embrace this and I'm going to say I love fashion because I think it's art. And I love that it gives someone a character. And this is how we need to be. If we are bold, we need to show it. If we're original, we need to show it. And as a creative, I relate a lot to being, you know, in fashion and understanding other designers and, you know, loving, you know, everything beautiful. So obviously I'm gonna give you the way if you wanna add anything on the fashion thing. Regarding the vision of Bilarabi and regarding the journey and the story, it started in 2006. It's a statement. It started because of an unfortunate incident in the world, which was 9/11. Having 9/11, you know, bringing and shedding the light on the Arab world and on our region, actually it made a lot of people be afraid of who they are, what kind of identity they wanted to speak about, and not naming their kids Arabic names because the media was so strong in that direction on our region that people felt that they need to shy away from who they are. By doing, by seeing all of that, me coming from, Lebanon and being an Arab and being very proud of my identity, I felt I needed to come in my photography, because I'm a photographer first, an artist photographer. I felt that I needed actually to say something, to make a statement, to say, listen guys, we're not all, like each other. I mean, we're not all the same. You have bad people here, bad people there, good people here, good people. So don't include us all. We have a lot to offer. We gave a lot to the world back in the days, and hopefully more to come. If we look at the region now, the Arab world, specifically the Gulf, we have so much more to do, and we've done so much. We've been to the moon everywhere. I mean, we need to be proud. So the brand started from that, and obviously it started by being a very, very simple, letter and jewelry, similar to what I'm wearing today in my ears and in my hand. And obviously, I wanted to celebrate that heritage. I wanted to take the design of a letter and calligraphy and the beauty of it from one place to the other. I didn't want to show the Arab world in one vision, in one eye. I wanted people to see that our calligraphy can go so, in different directions, make it contemporary, make people that speak the language or don't speak the language be proud and happy and understand this culture and maybe be part of it and take this journey with me and accept it and just like embrace it and love it. We need to love it for people to love it. So we need our voices to celebrate it and talk about it and wear it and make it a statement and obviously work on design more and more, from something very subtle to something more elaborate to something more abstract, like using the words, the calligraphy, the letters. Everything has, a phase. So from something simple all the way to something more complex, more visual, more creative. Obviously, I've put myself in a very, very tight box, saying the brand is called Bil Arabi, which literally means in Arabic. So 17 years down the road, I'm still happy to do what I do, and I'm still as creative as I can be. I'm the sole creator of the brand, so basically, taking these letters and making so much with them, arriving to obviously the abstract, visuals. Having, obviously the evil eye, patterns, songs that I use, words from songs from Kulthum or Abdul Halim, these are icons and divas in our world. Taking that and making this also as a pattern. So the calligraphy, you have the typography, and I love typography, taking the letters and playing with them, and but also the evil eye, it's a big part of our culture. So I decided that this also would be, a staple of the brand, something I can, work with, we relate to, so you don't only have the letters and the words, but also you have these beautiful eyes that I've taken from jewelry to also working with carpets, designs, boxes, any kind of product design that actually, that came to me, whether through collaborations or through, friends who wanted to have more of Arabic touch in what they do. Obviously, the cultural legacy is having me and being in Dubai actually is a big, big plus, because it's a city where it brings people together, where people are interested in what we do and what the city offers to them, whether on a business level, more so now on a cultural and obviously technology. So being there, having the chance to meet really like cool and nice people from the West, from everywhere in the world, I happened to land on a dinner very casually, met the people from Gerla. They were very interested in what I was wearing, and they were, they had something in mind. They never told me. And a month and a half later, I get an email saying, would you like to collaborate with us on this beautiful bee bottle, who is, their iconic bottle for the 170-year anniversary. I said, like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So obviously the word al-hub or love and hub are a very big part of the brand. This is a message I would like to say, because I think when you have love, you will have peace, because this is what you're talking about. So when you talk about love, eventually you're going to find peace. And this beautiful Guerlain bottle came to life not long ago. It was shown at the Art Dubai. We had a beautiful exhibition, a lot of press, obviously, and a lot of, hype about it. Obviously, taking also the heritage into the carpets, I've created a beautiful carpet for Sheikh Zayed, who's the father of the UAE. He is a man who did so much for the UAE and set the way for everyone to actually have a vision and kind of elaborate on that and, lead the way in all of this. This is where we are today. As for my first shop-in-shop, which is more on the commercial level here, we've opened our first shop-in-shop not long ago in May, end of May this year. And it's a big achievement for like a one-man person kind of a brand. And we worked with a beautiful and amazing architect, actually Lebanese as well. He did the concept of the store. It comes from the inkwell, which is the calligraphy where you tap into the plume and then you write. So that's where the colors and the main pieces. Obviously working with a lot of brands. One of them is Gaga Milano, which we did a watch for, which is an Italian brand. Obviously, Robert Coin, Cruciani. We did a beautiful one-off piece for Christie's and a lot of other designs, whether interiors or boxes. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what I do.
Well, thank you very much, Nadine. But I really just I feel your story is beautiful because it doesn't come just from jewels, but also jewels. But if, like you said, a need. And the need of expressing became bigger than jewelry.
Absolutely.
And that's why you are successful. And the fact that you are consistent with your vision, your persona, your giving, because you didn't think about you thought about your community. No. And this is part of what we call collective intelligence. Not just caring about an individual, but caring about who we are and Absolutely. How we can help as a community and society. So through luxury, let's say, and fashion, we really say something bigger. And this is something that only humans can do.
100%.
And this is emotional.
100%. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Nadine.
you for having me.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to go to someone else. So someone that is a friend, an ingenious designer who translates art and inner research into his craft. I'd like to introduce you, Stefano Russo.
Thank you, Paola. Hi to everyone. Really happy to be here.
Buongiorno, Stefano. Buongiorno. So I met Stefano. I'm going to say just a few things so that they connect. We met Stefano and I. We worked with Giorgio Armani. We had the honor to work with Giorgio Armani. He did more than me, longer time than me on designing jewelry collections and so on. And that's when I met Stefano and his brothers. And Stefano is an artist that actually really translates his art and creativity, but also his inner research into design and ultimately business. Because Stefano is going to show you what he does and who he's working and associated with, and you understand what I mean. Ciao, Stefano.
Ciao. I spent the last 20 years of my life, especially when I understood that for me was really important then have meanings is not just a design object, but what there is behind it. And from that point, I understood that research was important. I started to research scientific elements in relation of how our body is connected one each other and how we are related with the object, because everything is connected. It's a physics quantum physics, and is not my invention, but I take a lot of inspiration about it. And I try to translate in all my installation object and tools that for me are more extension of the body instead of jewelry or decoration. My start point is the high. High because when in the morning we wake up, the first sense that we activate is the high, and the light right to our brain create that perception of reality, and we see all the things around us thanks to the light. The dark, when arrive the night, usually get us scary because we don't see the reality, but is interesting because start the investigation of go over the sea, what you see, and go in. And the perception of hearing, touching the things, and exploring. Investigating Matter is a project that I did many years ago, and I present to Expo in Milan a few years in the Tadino galleries, where they give me these 3 floors. First floor was completely dark, the second was with the tonality of gray, and the last one was completely white. This project is in the middle of the transformation when I build this photo camera with a beautiful lens, and I travel my journey all around the world for more than 2 years to shooting the matter. Why? Because I thought we live in a cities where there is pollution, the environment is super delicate, and inspiration for me was always starting point from the surface to go in, and from that point I find the key that life within matter, the energy of the matter, and thanks to that I start to develop the focus tool that are not just bracelets, are a point of balance between the visible and invisible, are a point of balance between what the micro and the macro, as a metaphor, as a starting point to understand, first of all, who are we and what are we doing in this life. Another project, evolutionary, was a self-protection, which for the same reason is a monocular, which thanks to the decentralization of the lens, give to our brain another input to be in line between creative part and rational part. And thanks to the center, where handing the wire of copper, there is a microsensor magnet which is connected with the pineal gland. Is our connection with another dimension, with the infinite inspiration that come from our accents to the connection and to the ideas surround us. Another project of the same exhibition is the Sette Percettori, which are 7 objects with each one with a purpose, light, movement, limpido, etc., etc., etc. I don't want to bore you. I just tell you just one that is Neuronia Specchio, inspired from Brizzolati, who take the Premio Nobel many years ago, in relation of the emulation. Many times when we are in front of something that we like, is naturally to copy that. Why? Because the monkey that experiment, that drink a water, in the meantime, another monkey don't drink a water with the X-ray, move the same part of the brain. That naturally, I understood why many people copy the other creative and like this. Anyway, my project become also commercial in terms of where we met with Paola to Armani when I spent 11 years to launch all the project from the fine jewelry with Giorgio directly at Emporio for fossil with all around the world distribution. And just a few pictures of that.
So you were, if I may interact with you, Stefano, you were like actually one of the most important thing were like men's jewelry. And then, you know, we've been doing, I remember we were doing, I mean, as a team at that time, you know, men's collection, you guys were doing it with your brother like 10 years ago. And now it's very popular. More than that, people were talking about gender fluid now.
18 years ago.
And it's like they were already in the collection, you remember?
Yeah.
And they were like a huge line of gender fluidity, meaning that men's collection. So Mr. Armani already had that as a regular base. So it was not even special. It was like regular.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
I remember that when we were together present. Yeah.
That's it. And another project was 7 years for Calvin Klein, where I developed part of the woman and the men jewelry and some watches. It was also that is a super interesting experience, especially to understand the market, American market. And there was a really nice meditation to arrive to the simplicity and the right curve can travel in the body. Is
ergonomic design.
Ergonomic.
No? Ergonomic
Absolutely.
design. Yeah.
And another interesting project was to me, where with the DB company that is in a trend show today, they show me this sphere and say, "What do you think about it?" I think, "I look like atom." And the moving, and the first idea was atomy, and how this pair can massage the body. Mm-hmm. And the first exhibition was to give to the customer one element of fabric with in an internal this object. They don't know the shape, but they see and they touch. That multisensorially input, just to go over.
Now we are entering your like the bulk of your business. No?
Yes.
And here I want to do a little like, you know, introduction, if you don't mind. I mean, it's like you've been working with Louis Vuitton for many years. You're like their like head of design for glasses. And it's a huge business for them. And this is my own interest of the reason why you're here. I wanted to show how artists are actually beneficial for business. Because if you start from the beginning, you're like, oh, okay, he does research and art. But then when you see how this company work, these people that they took Farrell as creative director, there is a singer, a producer, now is a creative director of Louis Vuitton, which she does 30 billions, how many? 20 billions. It's like, it's crazy, you know, euros per year. And selling mainly accessories, meaning glasses, bags, not clothes, it's not the biggest part of the business. But the fact that they think out of the box and they have people like Stefano, I think it's pretty impressive. I mean, there is a reason why these companies are successful, because they think out of the box. I wanted to say that. That's why I wanted to connect very quickly.
Yeah, since when I started the collaboration with LV, they called me, and I was, before I was in Prada for 8 years. They called me and say, okay, we want to launch the project of eyewear, men and women, and I spent the first 10 years to develop both collections with Marc Jacobs, Kim Jones. After, with Virgil Abloh, when he arrived, I decided to dedicate just the men collection. And from that point, we switch a chapter, because start a new vibe of street luxury, street that become really expensive and high quality, where we play a lot with colors, where we invite skaters, writers, all unknown artists to our backstage to create a new dimensions. And it was super new for Louis Vuitton, which until that moment was a super classic brand.
Street luxury, it's really what's happening. And that's why it's important that our industry hears that.
Yeah.
Because this is what it is. It's about understanding the world changing and sensing the vibe of the streets. Because if they understand the vibe of the streets, they can sell more jewelry. That's what it is.
Of course.
And they could have the right product at the right time.
In the last 6 months, with another picture of Virgil, when we did really the impossible. For him, it was like, what can we do okay, we don't do that. Let's do what is impossible to do.
Not everybody knows who's Virgil, though. I mean, we have to say he was the former creative director. You have to, because not everybody knows everybody, you know.
Yes, he spent the beginning of his career with Kanye West to create the stage, and in that moment he created his network. And he started with Off-White, which was brand that changed the market for the street attitude. And after that, when he started the collaboration with LV, he has this child attitude that I really love of him, that everything is possible. And my feeling was everything is connected. Then we put together the two elements and we create the impossible. It was super funny because with him was not like fashion, because after the show he played music and there was an artist coming and was party and another kind of vibe, super light. And in 5 years, what he did is what a normal human being can do in 3 lives, probably, because he drew all from water, cars.
He designed many products.
Many things.
Yeah.
Anyway, next step, unfortunately, he passed away 2 years ago, and from that, the studio stay alone. We become a director of ourselves for 2 shows, for two years, 4 shows, and was a really great, sad in the beginning, but a great experience in the other, because we see ourselves, say, okay, what do we show this season? Next step was last step. 6 months ago came Pharrell Williams. And another beautiful chapter open again. This is in the company for me the 3rd life, because with Pharrell, with his test of luxury and precious materials, we created the show in June, where all the Pont Neuf in Paris was completely covered in gold. And all the friend of him, that of course was Beyoncé, A$AP Rocky, Rihanna,
all the celebrity,
All the
everybody that
celebrities.
is like the celebrity and the
Can-
role model for many people in terms of fashion and style.
Yeah,
Yeah.
become the backstage of.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's okay.
I touched something.
It's okay, no, they did, yes.
Yeah. And that was a really interesting experience. What is important now, I think, what I feel in terms of jewelry and sunglasses, and I think when we work in a studio with who's doing the scarf, the necklace, the hat, together we try to create a fluidity where the glasses become hearing. And for me, what I did, like the punk version of Dandy, in that was great success, because usually we have a normal glasses on here, but go over and mix and become everything fluid, I think is really important.
I love the fact, Stefano, sorry if I jump in, when you mix jewelry and glasses, and I like this concept of jewelerification,
Yeah.
the jewelerification of accessories, and like you said, there is a fluid way of approaching. It's no longer, this is a bracelet. Everything is becoming fluid. It's an age-fluid world.
Absolutely.
And this is amazing.
Yeah, one of my big inspiration is when I feel the face as a unit center for the senses,
Yeah.
where we have all the control of our life. Then
Yeah.
the connection between the senses through the accessories become a next step.
Yeah.
Evolution had collaborations with
Yeah.
LV, with Supreme, where we start to become more young, to introduce another generation. And this was my past. 8 years for launch of Prada, Miu Miu, and Linea Rossa was a big experience for me. Where with Miuccia Prada, we had a great moment to transform and create a new attitude for the glasses. Sienna is my brand. I launched 6 years ago, and I just say 2 words. The meanings of the name is science, intuition, energy, nature, spirituality. Those 5 elements for me are fundamental to put together, and everything. Anytime I start a new glasses, for me is feeling the object in the center of, when I touch the nose, is the point of balance between my inner world and the outer world. Because thanks of that, we see better and we have protection. And in the 1,000 million collaboration I did also is installation, which I try to, the concept of everything is connected and the brain are connected to one each other. I say, let's create something figurative where the telepathy concept between one human and the other can be interactive with one each other. And with that, I think I don't want to bore you.
Stefano, we are very happy. We are very impressed. And again, I really wanted to show what's behind, because people here, most of them, they're business people. They're here to do trade. And sometimes they're here, it's like, I'm not here to hear about art. I mean, who cares? You know, so, I mean, some people care, some people don't. But what I was interested in, and the point is to show the brains behind a big business, the brain behind these visionaries, the Pradas, the Armani, the Louis Vuitton. They have people like you that comes from sometimes abstract and interior and personal research, but you translate it into a business. Grazie.
Grazie. Thank you so much.
Grazie. And now I want to tell you another little story I'd like to share, where heritage meets innovation and creativity to the next level. Lalla and Davide Busatti.
Buongiorno, io sono Lalla Busatti e lui mio Davide Busatti. I'm the creative of the family, and my brother will introduce to you our company and our project and our vision.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Paola. So I'd like to start a little bit about the story of our company, because our story defines what we are today. The company was started by my grandfather in 1947. It started almost by chance. One of his friends couldn't make to an appointment to sell a strand of pearl. He take his place. The business went very well, and since then it became his main occupation. He started going to Torre del Greco, that at the time was the main hub for pearls, and since then he decided to go to the main source and fly to Japan. Now imagine in the 50s, someone with zero English, no experience of traveling, barely a passport, going to Japan all alone. There was like 5 stopover. And this gives you the feeling of the pioneer spirit that he had. His father, my father, his son Luigi, followed his stepfoot and started traveling extensively around the world and had rubies, emerald, coral. I'll give you an example for coral. He went to, at the time it was Formosa, now it's Taiwan, with no connection. He doesn't know anybody. He just went there, take yellow pages, start scrolling, and go one by one to the supplier. Today it looks anachronistic, but at the time it was really a pioneer. When we joined the company, we used the heritage of the stone, of the loose material that we have seen through our father, and we decided to go to high jewelry for important stores and top brands. So we founded last year, 1947, and branch out from the family company, because we want to express more freely our creativity that goes from unique stone and unexpected material. So everything starts with the stones. I like to think always out of the box. I like to find stones that are unconventional, that stand out for cut, quality, or particularity. This is the base for uniqueness. And then I pass these stones to my sister that designed the piece and create this bold contrast with the unexpected material. We like also to reinvent the classic. I will give you an example. I sold a nice Paraiba cabochon, and the customer want a cocktail ring, Bombay ring with inlay, but he wanted white and satin finishing. There was no material for that. So I was thinking what I can use, and then I was cooking for my kids, and I realized that the kitchen counter was made in Korean, which was exactly the material that he wanted. So we made the ring out of a kitchen counter, but it was perfectly for the use, because durable, washable, can be engraved, matte, so it was responding exactly to our needs.
This is called thinking out of the box, and that's why you are on the stage, because you do that, and that's why you're here.
We like to reinvent also the classic. This was a bracelet of my mother, so we liked those bold, wide open chain, and we made the necklace with the illusion diamond and our special resin that I would like to describe after. This is another good example. This looks like a normal chain, but we reinvent the setting using very precise cutting. So we put 2 stones together to get double of the luster. I hope you can see here there are 2 lines. So you don't see any gold, you just see diamonds. These are other examples. In this slide, I would like to underline 2 words, creativity and wearability. Creativity, of course, we need to have the help of her, and of course of our goldsmith, because most of them are crazy people, because like to experiment, try using carbon fiber, titanium, everything that is unusual. And wearability, because we would like to use this material in a way that make the piece more wearable, more unique. This is also where I think art intelligence will always beat AI, because you cannot teach a machine how to touch a piece, feel the pleasure of removing the plastic from a new watch, a new bag. So
You cannot.
And that's what you said at the beginning, it's about people. and feelings.
It's about emotion.
Yes.
This is a very interesting material that we launched a couple of years ago. We already mastered carbon fiber that I'm sure you know already, which has very good characteristic. It's very resistant, it's very durable, but it has no color, it's black. So we decided that we need to have something that can give us the chance to add color. And we take the idea from the bakelite, which was something that was used in the 70s. I guess you're more expert.
Yeah.
So, and we mix the two materials. So we get the color of the bakelite with the resistance and the lightness of the carbon fiber. Titanium is one other of our, let's say, core material. I think we started 20 years back.
Yes.
The first piece was a disaster. I must admit, I think it's still somewhere in the safe. But since then, we control and master the material very well. And at that time, I remember that we had to go to dentist to cast the piece, because we were the only one that had the machine
But
to
this
cast
is amazing.
for the...
But this is what I want to share with our audience. The research that there is behind innovation, but most important, the passion and vision. You wanted something different. And
You
so
need to
you
try.
are experimenting,
Yes.
and it's part of, you are almost a scientist of the jewelry industry, as many successful other people. But, you know, casting a piece of jewelry at the dentist, Presidente Lee, it's crazy. I mean, it's amazing, you know? Yeah.
And the dentist was super happy
I'm
because he
sure
didn't
he
understand
was.
what we were
I'm
doing,
sure
and he
he
said,
was.
"This is a piece of jewelry."
Exactly. Well, you know, it's interesting. Yes, please.
And since then, now we master the material very well, because now we print it, we do by hand, we do a lot of things, we can get any color. So from that initial failure...
You can even do teeth at this point.
If you want a purple one,
Actually,
we can
Exactly.
do it.
Now in fashion, yes.
The idea of titanium came because it's perfectly analergic. It's, you can use on body with no problem, but it's also much lighter than gold. It's like 1/5 of the weight. So you can design a piece that is this big, a pair of earrings this big, and it's completely comfortable. You
And
can
you
wear
as-
all night long,
and
you
you
don't feel it.
associate it with, you know, bespoke cut diamonds. I saw it. Yeah.
There will be a nice pair of
Yeah.
earrings that will give us the opportunity to explain it. So this is one of our latest creation with the material that was explaining you. As you see, we were able to make different shade of color, different pattern also. We take the infinity because it's a very strong symbol, both in jewelry and in any culture. But we want to modify and make it passing through. So imagine an infinite. Open it so you can put your arm inside. But still, when you take one of those bracelets and you put under a light, the shadow that we create on the floor is still an infinite. And as you see over there, I had a little twist. She added a little twist with a losange diamond. To keep it in that shape, that's also, she was very smart to use it, she had magnet in them. So when you stack them, they go immediately all together and then don't get all mixed up there, and you don't see the infinite anymore. The London cuff, this is one of my favorite. When I saw the stone, I fell immediately in love. It's a 3-character mobile, but it's like, was this big, like more than 2 centimeters. So finding a diamond that is so big with such a small weight is pretty rare. For this specific piece, of course, the inspiration was a man cuffling, and we decided to use carbon fiber. It requires a lot of hour on the bench to get this effect. If you see here, the pattern is not like typical carbon fiber net that we normally
It's organic
use.
finish. It's an organic finish.
It looks like wood.
It looks like wood. But wood, if you ever done any piece of jewelry with wood, break. Because with the heating, with the water, it always gives a problem.
Absolutely.
Carbon fiber, it's like eternal. She had also a very interesting idea because it was a cuffling, So she
Thank you.
used a coupling mechanism to make it open. So it was like a good combination of man and woman feeling. The carrier necklace, this is my favorite one. And we decided last year to make a tour to Egypt, and the connection with pyramid is obvious. And on the same week, a supplier offered me some of them, like 5 or 6 of triangle, which is normally not a very lucky shape in jewelry. But I took it as a, coincidence, and I decided to buy all of them and slowly collect to make what I think it's a beautiful necklace. The technology that we use here is for the inlay. So to get it so precise, if you see here, there is almost no gap between the diamonds and the mother of pearl. The mother of pearl that I choose was coming from the Red Sea, because I want to find a shell that would have goes well with the whole inspiration of the piece. When I finished the piece, it was white mother of pearl and white diamonds. Diamonds were not standing out. So I was thinking, I don't want to change everything. And it came to my mind that my grandfather used to make, those small boats like caravel.
Yes.
And use thein and caffeine to add color to the sail and make it look antique. So I went to the cutter and said, okay, let's try to find something that can change the hue, the color of the mother of pearl. So we sort of invented a new ink, put the mother of pearl inside. It's an organic material, so we put them inside this special ink and get this silver, very elegant.
You painted, you kind of painted, you added an ink technique.
Yes, but it's
Yes.
like more natural than just
Of
painting.
course.
We didn't use the coffee as our grandfather, but it's still something more natural.
Which is absorbed by the stone.
Yeah, yeah.
Absorbed. Yeah.
This is the pair of earrings that I was talking you about, that we are anticipating. The shape of the diamond is really particular, because if you see, it looks like lily of the valley. It was a flower that me and her were going with our father to collect in the countryside. And so we fell immediately in love. We mix it with the Arab world partner, which for us is a second house, because we go there quite often to sell, but we have also to make money. And we made a very big pair of chandelier using technology, titanium, but also old technique, because if you would have taken the picture also on the back, it's completely azure, like in the vintage jewelry. It has fantastic movement, it has a very good flow, but was this big.
Yes.
So instead of being 25 something gram, was only 8 gram. And the Caracas bangle, this is very.
I love these diamonds. I mean, let's talk about this
Actually,
custom.
This is exactly what I was telling you about thinking out of the box, choosing stones.
Yeah.
This is 1.5 carat, is this big. It's very thin, very elongated, something really unique. This gives you the chance to make something definitely one-off, which is, I think, customers what they want more and more. They want to feel unique. They want to feel that they buy something that nobody else have. And if you see, also it's surrounded by nice losange diamond to fill the gap that we left in what is a typical net. I mean, the net is a very classical design. I think I don't want to take more time for Sienna.
No. Okay, sorry, I didn't realize.
We are so passionate. We can talk for hours about our pieces.
No, I mean, it's like I was completely absorbed by your story, but most important to me was interesting, and I really wanted to connect the thinking out of the box. I wanted to show you as an example of heritage in terms of being third generation, coming from a family of jewelers, which many in the audience of this business is about. I mean, many people are jewelers, they're from third, fourth generation, second, whatever. And many family now are facing also the generational change. Sometimes they walk together, sometimes they need a different kind of path to express their vision, a new vision. And the fact that you are a design thinker, and by design thinker is like thinking out of the box, not necessarily designing, being on the table top, but really being in the kitchen and thinking about the coffee of your grandfather that was like painting or staining a wood. I think this is the way to do it. So thank you for being creator.
Grazie.
Grazie,
Thank
Paola.
you for
Thank
your
you very
presence.
much.
Grazie.
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 And now, I say the universe is a wonderful place, and Instagram becomes the metaverse for meeting communities, talent, and I discovered Planet Fantastique, who creates amusing and imaginary works inspired by retro futurism. I'd like to invite on stage Sienna O'Rourke.
Ciao. Hello. Thank you for having me, Paola, and everybody here. I've had such an interesting day yesterday. It's very outside my normal experience, wandering around with all these beautiful jewels and, shiny things. So thank you for having me.
But of course, well, so Sienna is an AI artist. She actually, her background is design. She's a graphic designer. She's an artist. She's a creator. And me, when I started entering the realm of AI, especially AI art, I have found online this interesting account, which is called Planet Fantastique. And I started seeing this amazing world that was created, and I thought the person that was behind it was very interesting. Because if you go online on Instagram right now, and you're gonna digit Planet Fantastique, you see it's a brand. I mean, she has this account has such a vision, a consistency, a storytelling, amazing. Then I thought, just whoever it is very interesting. So I contacted this person that exists, is not fake, as you can see. And we started emailing each other. I think she thought I was crazy, because I was this woman that she said that she wanted to invite me to a show and she wanted to start collaborating with me. Because many times online, we think everything is fake, and many times is. There are fake identities. The digital world, the metaverse, is very intangible. So how can we bring the meta to life? And I do, actually, and I meet interesting people, and she's one of them. And so, grazie, thank you for being here from London. She flew for us, and she's going to tell us about the AI journey, what she did.
Yeah, so I started working with AI sort of at the very end of 2022. I don't know if you guys have seen sort of the way in which the capabilities of AI has advanced, but towards the latter half of 2022, it really started to get very, very sophisticated, or the capability of the technology, I should say. I think quite often when people talk about AI, they talk about AI as an entity, but it is a tool or a software, a large language model that can be used by humans to create. And that's sort of the way I see it. But around that time, at the end of last year, there was a lot of headlines about AI is going to take the jobs of creatives. I work as a graphic designer, and that is one of the industries where there was a lot of people saying that, that's not going to exist in the next 10 years because all of that is just going to be done by AI, by someone who's not skilled. And so I thought, I want to understand more about this because it's very easy to get caught up in platitudes and sort of clickbait headlines and just make an assumption that something is going to be inherently destructive or bad. And I can understand the sort of worry attitude about it. But I really wanted to know for myself and to understand how it worked and to see if I could use it as a tool, as part of my practice. And what I did find when I started to work with the software is that it opened up such an amazing world of opportunity to create things that would not be possible because of budget, team, technology, location, and to open that up to me as a designer working in London who doesn't have a massive network or backing, that I can do things that I've thought about or wanted to do or imagined since I was a child, watching films and seeing these beautiful landscapes and ideas, and to be able to use a software that takes it out of your brain and puts it onto the page instantly is so exciting. It is like magic, like you were saying before. So a lot of my work is inspired by retrofuturism. I think the 60s and the 70s was such an amazing era for visual aesthetics in cinema, in fashion, and I'm really, really drawn to that sort of aesthetic. And I also quite like the concept of retrofuturism, or at the time, futurism, came about in post-war America, and it was a vision of what could be this sort of technologically advanced utopia where things are very easy. You put a pill in the microwave and you get a chicken dinner. You can teleport from one place to another. Technology created to make our lives easier. And in the case of a lot of these cultural icons, like things like Star Trek, we're in a point that is past a lot of the issues that plague our society: racism, homophobia, those sorts of things, classism. And a lot of these media are based in the time now. So they were picturing what our lives would be like. And obviously it's nothing like that. We still live in a very, complicated and hectic world. But I really like the idea of using AI to revisit this sort of retro-futuristic vision, because AI is one of those technologies that is like magic. It is like what they would have envisioned in the 50s and 60s for this technological utopia. So I quite like using that as a medium to express the work.
I like what you said, imaginary future of a utopian world that was imagined then.
Yeah, and now we're going back and looking forward again.
And this communication, this dialogue between past and present for a different future.
Yeah.
And AI being the closest thing to the imagined world at that time.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, It's something to think about.
And, as we develop, there is going to be technologies that appear more and more like magic.
So I want to comment also on what people is looking at. I mean, those are images that Sienna created with AI, and these people are not real. I mean, those are created with her, I'm just going to give you a little bit of what it is AI in this particular. Why AI is interesting? Because up until now, machine learning in teaching machine or instructing machine was through algorithm and programming. Now the programming, this is the big evolution, is NLP, natural language processing. So natural language processing translates into, basically you're able to input by writing what you want to the computer, to the platform, to the chatbot, or whatever platform you're using, and tell what you want. Now, this is the interesting part. You can say, I would like this. Now, it's not as easy as it seems, because it's not if you go on Midjourney, you're going to say, I'd like a white, blue, a Caucasian woman, blonde, and I'd like an Asian woman with it, and it's going to come the way you want it. It doesn't work that way. I wish I would, but people like her developed the skill to get exactly what they want, how they want it, and play with that. But to get that skill, it takes long hours on Midjourney, understanding all the tricks, because it's the equivalent that when they're saying, you can do your own website, and it's easy and it's cheap, but guess what? You really cannot do it by yourself. I mean, you can, but it doesn't look good, right? and it's the same. I mean, you need these people. I'm sorry that I needed to
you're totally
connect
right.
to understand is like the complication, but also what is the revolution. You
Yeah.
can write. It's NLP, it's very important, the NLP
Yeah,
part.
and I think, like you said, you can put something into an AI image generator and you will get something, and you might get something that looks good.
Yeah.
But unless, I think there is space for artistic vision and creatives to work using AI, because there is an element of curation, there is an element of perspective. You know, you're not necessarily doing the, you know, snapping the photo or you know, writing with a pen, but I think you can tell if it is not being done with perspective. Maybe not from one image, but if you see a collection of people's work and, you know, I think there is absolutely space for an artist to work within the AI realm and to be successful. And I think, you know, we're starting to see there are some standout AI image creators who are doing some really interesting things. And I think, you know, one thing I do like about how the method in which the images are created, there is an interplay of the artist with the AI. It doesn't necessarily have its own perspective, but it will send you off in different directions that you might not have thought of, that can, you know, take you on a different journey, which is really exciting to use as a creative
intelligence,
partner.
no? It's collective intelligence.
Yeah.
So it's the knowledge of the internet that comes to you when you require.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. It's like having the knowledge of the entire world in that direction. That is what is fascinating, that there is the creativity of a network that can become yours.
Yes, yeah. It's, I think AI, you know, just creating AI images and that's it. I think there is limitations, massive limitations in what you can do. You know, at the moment, they're quite small resolution, and so it takes quite a bit of work to scale them up to be, you know, print ready for billboard, things like that. But I think there is potential to use AI as part of a collaborative effort to work with digital retouchers and composite retouchers, to work with real models, to work with real sets. The train image before, I'm working on, and this one as well, I'm working on a project where we are, there's a female director and a female art director and myself. I've created all of the storyboards, and we're shooting a fashion film which will have built sets, real models, and it will also have a version of the world.
People and machines, people
Absolutely.
and AI. And this is what is interesting, the combination of working with real model and sets created by AI, or vice versa.
Yeah.
You're working also with cinematography, you know, with movies.
Yeah, so we've worked with a VFX company who've built out some of the landscapes that I created into Unreal Engine, so they become an expansive place rather than a 2D space, which is pretty cool. This is some of the inspiration of the work I do, and I'd love for you all to check out my Instagram. It's planet_fantastique. And,
they will.
You know, there's
so you take
many
inspiration
photos.
from this particular world, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
So that's the inspiration. That's what she does with that. That's amazing. That's great.
Thank you.
And I want to ask you this thing. I love the fascination with elderly people.
Yeah.
I mean, why there is this interesting, like, all of a sudden I see photographer, they are like celebrating, mature age, let's say, aging.
I think for my work, I really, obviously, I like to show beautiful women, but also I think, we exist in the world as a variety of shapes, size, ages, and I think representation is important without being tokenistic.
Absolutely.
And I like to find beauty in unexpected places.
This is amazing. I mean, I look at this couple.
Yeah. I want to be them when I'm older.
I want to be with them, yes, yes.
I recently did a little series on Barbie.
On
which,
Barbie, yeah.
I think it's kind of a departure from what I usually do, but I found it was an exciting way to explore something in the cultural zeitgeist. And this was all just before the movie came out, so I hadn't seen it, but it was, you know, their marketing campaign was what many millions.
I like the fact that you named, we named this chapter a reinvented icon. Because in a way, what really makes a statement about Barbie is not the pink color, but reinventing the icon of a woman envisioned in the 50s that now is evolving into a different woman, an empowered woman of different sizes and different colors and different and working and actually I like the energy. You did something very interesting. I like this. But you did this. She came up with this ingenious idea, which is Ken energy, which is Ken now is a very gender fluid.
Yeah, I mean, I've always considered Ken to be, you know, queer-coded. Like
A little queer, yes, he's a little queer, yes,
but,
he is. He's
you know.
I like that, he's very queer-coded. I mean, this is hilarious, isn't it hilarious? This is beautiful. This is amazing, Sienna.
So, I mean, I hope that you've enjoyed seeing a little bit of what I do, and I am excited about what is possible using AI. I don't think it's going to replace human creatives. I think the work of humans is really important, and AI can't create in a vacuum. It requires input from somebody. And I think it's a tool that more people should explore, because I think, you know, when you're scared of something, when you see it as a threat, you know, it has a power over you. But if you explore it and understand it better, you can navigate in the new way. Because the cat's out of the box, it's here.
Absolutely. But I wanted also to show this. This is a slide that I wanted to show, and it's like virtual showrooms, personalized experience, AI marketing. I think an important reason why I wanted to show this work and you and the whole movement, and also tomorrow David Broth, which is in the audience, is presenting also a panel with Sibjo on AI and his implication in the jewelry industry. This is one of the possible application of AI, creating imagery, AI marketing, creating sets, environment, designing something that doesn't exist in such a realistic way that seems real and can become and be real. And this is amazing. Thank you, Sienna, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Me lo porti te? No, m'ha preso il clicker, Me lo devi prendere. Cretino. So, this is going to be fast because I was very happy because our amazing talent had very good stories. So I'm not going to keep you too long on the chair. But I wanted to show you very quickly this report, the book, our publication, the Jewellery Trend Book 2025, which was created and thought out with AI. As you can see, we collaborated with Sienna, among other artists, of course, AI artists, but the entire book, beside the jewelers and the jewelry and the product, let's say, all the images that you see in the trend book are done by AI. So we really wanted just not to talk the talk, but to walk the talk. So we wanted to really do something and really do it. Say, how can we do it? No, let's not just talk about it. Let's do it. So we have, of course, created and drafted and wrote, copied, but we also used ChatGPT to draft some section, some paragraph, to experiment, how to make it unique, to see. So we really use this project to start using AI in the industry. And so that's why we're doing this. That's why Trendvision Jewellery Forecasting exists, because we have to inspire the industry. We have to trigger innovations. So that's the main theme, and that's what we cover today. This is just, I'm going to go very fast over, just to show you the pages. The book, of course, is presented today. You can purchase it online, or you can go in the bookshop. But of course, for us, consumer culture is the most important thing. We cannot talk about jewelry unless we don't talk about people. If we don't know who we're selling jewelry to, product, could be a geographic market, could be Africa, could be the Middle East, could be India, China. And within a country, within a nation, there is complexity. There are social differences. There are geographic area. There are cities. There are urban area and suburban area. So it's complex. And it's very important to understand the link and the changes of society, and how we can not only create jewelry, but also communicate with them. Because if you're doing a marketing campaign that doesn't include, is not inclusive, like my friend here would say, it's not inclusive, consumer will not react, consumer will not respond. If you are only talking to only Italian, only a white, I am from Cairo, I don't feel part of it, I'm not going to buy it. So it's important that we understand that we have to be inclusive, not with product and with our communication. That's why we are showing a consumer map that divides demographic and psychographic and includes people from 10 up to 80 years old or even older. Because the world is not just Gen Z or young millennial. Today, people in their 50s and 60s remarried and they buy many jewelry. And they're beautiful. And there is plastic surgery, and not only. That's the truth. And then, of course, we talk about consumer insight. Those are emerging phenomena, but again, I'll be very fast, but I want to show you how the book is divided. The book is a methodology of work that companies can apply, organizations can apply. We had the honor I'm going to go, so this is a very interesting chapter. Again, I'd like you to stop by our store or purchase it online, but it's interesting to see how we approach research and how we approach trends and macro trends. It's really a strategic approach to business and to our industry. When we talk about product, we like to call it market opportunities. And market opportunities include a global overview of the world, of the economies, world economies, include sustainability section, and include, of course, design direction. But design directions are linked to macro trends. It's not just a ring. I mean, everything you saw, and I hope you are getting it, it's connected, interconnected. So look, jewelry global market. I mean, this is an interesting chart. Look at India. It's the first one in the world, China, US. So we are always very focused in our regions. It's so provincial. You know, it's very provincial. No, it's the truth. It's very provincial. We have to be global to bring something to the table and to feel less self-involved with our own local area and culture and be more open-minded. So that's the reason why we are showing these amazing charts to really empower our decisions, our strategic vision. And again, global overview, China, Africa. Africa is up and coming. Just look at it for the design directions, emerging is amazing. I mean, just Middle East, strong designers, Chinese, Indian. I mean, really, keep an eye on what's happening around the globe. And of course, here, I'm going to want to thank to Responsible Jewelry Council, and Watches and Jewelry Initiative 2030 for contributing to the jewelry trend book. We feel that it's very important to include the sustainability in general and all the gender equality and all the great work they're doing, this organization they're doing for this industry. It's important to say, and this is actually, my article is a little bit controversial, but that's my job to do so. I mean, that's why Iris sometimes she calls me, she's like, the slow progress in meeting the UN 2030 goals, not because they don't do their job, it's because the consumers and the industry is still, you know, they don't know what is SDGs and stuff. Really, I mean, many companies, like I'm talking about people in the aisle. I'm not talking about the people that are going to be on stage in the next few days. I'm not talking about the experts. I'm talking about consumers. I'm talking about the manufacturer. I'm talking about the artisans. They have, even though they want to be good and they want to do good, they have to pay the bills at the end of the month, honestly. And they have to figure out many other things. So what's sustainable and what's not? How can I do good? How can I help? How can I? Everybody wants to do good, but how can we do it when we struggle ourselves to survive? And this is an educational process that has to be done, and we want to thank this organization for their passion, devotion, and hopefully even the entire system in our sector that is certainly working very hard on it, but we still, I feel, there is a slow process. But we're going to do it as long as we want it. Anyway, you can see this article. And then last but not least, and here I'm going to be again fast because we already spent enough time sitting down, the forecast, I'm showing you the themes, and the themes is pretty much what indirectly we discuss. Art intelligence, what's happening with jewelry, preservation, dystopian beauty. I'm going to just go very fast on these amazing visuals and jewelry. Cosmo Cabochon, look at these amazing jewelry and directions that they're all like already there in the market, but also every one of these images already exists. And show you how things are happening in unveiling, and this is very strong and emotional. So when the title, the theme of this event was like, can human creativity survive artificial intelligence? And the question is, of course. Grazie a tutti. Thank you. I'd like everybody on stage. Please, Georgia. We're finished.